Welcome to the future of kart race preparation, Kart Sim Pro North America. Featuring laser-scanned North American kart circuits and precision-tuned kart physics developed using real telemetry, dyno and tyre data, Kart Sim Pro North America delivers the most advanced and realistic kart simulation experience available today. Whether you're training for race day, refining your lines, or shaving tenths off your personal best, Kart Sim Pro gives you pro-level insight without leaving your home. Trusted by world champions, coaches, and karting enthusiasts alike, this is where virtual practice translates into real-world performance. Experience the thrill, the challenge, and the edge. Kart Sim Pro North America, use code CHASER20 to get 20% off today.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. A long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I went to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like 20 bucks a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like 50 bucks a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today. Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Macron Motorsports builds champions every day, drivers who won on the world stage. The Tillotson T4 Series is pure spec racing. Same engine, same chassis. When you win, it's because you were the best that day. Your edge is not the kart, it's the setup, the strategy, and the race team. With our Arrive and Drive program, you simply bring your gear, we provide the equipment and the championship winning support to every event. Stop wrenching, start racing. Your path to the T4 Nations Cup in Spain starts with us. For more information, contact us at macronmotorsports.net.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make way. Okay, you're good.
I'm sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle. How the f did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
weather has certainly been far from welcoming here at Newcastle Motorsports Park, just a stone's throw from Indianapolis. But nevertheless, we welcome you to round number 1 of the Apex Midwest Championship. And after a beyond successful season opener, a trio in the Southeast, we press the reset button. We head to the Midwest for the opening of Chapter 2 of this season, if you will. And despite this weather, Apex has made the call to the best drivers, both on the Briggs 206 platform and the IMAK A100, and they have come out in full force. A sold-out show in Briggs Senior, and double digits in all of our classes. Alongside that, nearly 200 entries means that rain or shine, this is going to be a fun weekend. My name is Jackson Lambros. In the booth with me, Brett Baldeck. Brett, you're no stranger to dirt racing. The way it's looking on track right now, I've got the feeling you're going to feel right at home.
Yeah, I mean, this weather, you either, as a driver, you either love rain or you hate rain. I don't think there's any in between. So it's going to be interesting to see with these wet track conditions, which drivers are able to take advantage, which drivers struggle. And also the other interesting thing is we could try out today, and then tomorrow it's supposed to be dry. So if you're not good today, we'll see how you do tomorrow. So just a lot of curveballs with this wet weather, and also not just rain, but people watching at home can probably see the flags flapping in the breeze. Not ideal conditions, but we're going to see how these guys can handle it in this qualifying session.
The mic's doing a phenomenal job also of verbally communicating just how windy it is out there. And we've got some long straightaways here, nearly 900 meters separating us from the first corner, or I guess I should say the final corner, with our current layout into turn-in for I-70. I'm not sure where the wind is blowing exactly, but we should get an answer for you. I think another very interesting point we need to talk about, we mentioned the rain, obviously, kind of at that, for this morning during warm-ups, we absolutely were right at that kind of crossover point where you could go either way. We saw it in morning warm-ups if you tuned in before we came on for quali. I think it's definitely started to go a little bit more towards going over to the wet compounds. A couple guys closing off the warm-ups did like to stay out on slicks, but man, it is a tightrope walk out there to say the least. Looking at Levi Wilbur right now, the 406 Coyote. You can see him do as much as possible to stay on the wet line right now. Find the grip kind of outside of the racing line. Crucially, go where there's as much height as possible. Try to go from any puddles, any stagnant water. That's paying off for him so far. 140.547. Clay settling for a little bit more, though. The 469. Our first flying lap in with a 139.857. And interestingly here, Briggs Masters 14 on the docket. 8 or so out on track right now. Of course, I'm seeing a couple more maybe elect to go out a little bit slower, but with these conditions, maybe a lot of these guys reckon, what's even the point? Risking steel, risking spine to try and go out and bear this weather, when by the time we go heat racing, maybe the weather could be a little bit better. Here we go, a little bit of, even in these conditions, something we were expecting, as is so seemingly necessary for this platform for Briggs 206, a little bit of bumper to bumper here, as even in the rain, maximizing the draft. Big part of 206 racing here.
And I think we saw even in warm-ups when, you know, you are just warming up, you're trying to get a fast time, but drivers were going off in all of the classes. So you mentioned it, it's some guys I guess think are electing, you know, why go out and qualify when they saw those treacherous conditions in warm-up. But I mean, it's crazy. These guys are so talented, guys and girls are so talented to be able to go out there and race in these conditions. Again, you can see the wind, because we are in the Midwest. You can see this track at Newcastle Motorsports Park is kind of out in the open, flat area. There's not a lot of things to break that wind up or prevent breezy conditions. So they got everything thrown at them here this morning.
Play settles fastest again, 139.512. Jamie Bradford improving to P2, 140.436. That'll drop Levi Wilbur down to P4. Then it's Brant Estes, Todd Davis, Paul Mickelry, and Kevin Simonellic out here with his Sunlight. Currently 8th on the clock right now. Very widespread of times. We continue to watch right now.
And Settles is the only driver in the sub 140 category, but as you mentioned, there's not, these times are so spread out due to these track conditions. We only have about 50 seconds left, so we'll see if anyone's able to find anything in these final seconds.
One, maybe at very most here, 2 laps to go on the clock. But Brant Estes hitting the 4:07. Todd Davis, 2 guys just a little bit out of drafting range right now. Gonna work their way a little bit forward, trying to be as close to the front of the field as possible for our 2 rounds of heats that we'll get to here just a couple moments after qualifying. Again, big reason maybe these guys don't run. The chance that maybe it's not going to be fully dry, but definitely will be a little bit drier to the point that you go off the wets, you go back over to the slicks. And again, we will have plenty of cars out on track. Help dry the racing line. Get that standing water off track as quick as possible. Checkered flag out for 2:06 Masters qualifying. Nettle's still the one to beat. I think I just saw an improvement, though, from Davis. I guess I did. 139.719 gets within a full second, but Clay Settles in a league of his own. Out on track right now, and again, just running, ripping the top, if you will, on the banking right now, just going where the water isn't. Trying to maximize that grip in that Coyote with the green helmet. Working his way to the back half of the racetrack towards Cell Tower.
Yeah, Settles is nearly almost a second faster than the field, but as you mentioned, Todd Davis in the 4:07, he had a heck of a lap. The last lap was able to improve. I believe he was down 6th or 7th and went all the way up to 2nd. So good lap for Todd Davis in that, like we said, 4:07. But Clay Settles has the track figured out, obviously, in these wet conditions. But again, we don't know how long these conditions will last. Looking at the radar, the rain is scattered throughout the Indianapolis area, so those springtime showers really throwing these guys a curveball here this morning.
Clay Settles on pole, then 138.882. Todd Davis will start alongside of Brant Estes, and Jamie Bradford make up row number 2. We are up and away. Indiana, it's round number 1 of the Apex Midwest Championship, and a massive grid coming up here in our handful of classes still in Briggs 206. You'll meet them when we come back here from Newcastle Motorsports Park. Stay with us.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR, with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Hey guys, I'm Chris G. I'm Kart Chaser's driver fitness coach, and today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to strengthen your shoulders for more endurance and better stability in the kart. Here we go. Okay, so exercise number 1 is the front rope pull-through cable raises. Okay, now this is the upright cable row. What you are doing here is you're picking a straight bar, as you see, and we're working the side areas of our shoulders, the medial. Exercise number 3, the dumbbell shrugs. As you guys can tell, I like to pause at the top before releasing. It's great for your strength, for that wheel stability. It's great for those shoulders and that upper back area. Chris G coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do here.
.206 Cadet out on track. Get started with micro, and it's always such a good indicator. Whether it's 2 or 4 cycle racing, with seeing the split of the classes here between micro and mini. Because normally you see at regional, at club levels, it's just a single class, and I think some places will split them still. I think through cadet or sportsman. We kind of make it a little bit more uniform here at Apex to make it similar naming scheme to the IAMEs. The 2-strokes will go over to later on. But crucially over here, 11 micros out on track, 20 minis set to come out later in this category alone. It's the youngest category we'll meet out on track here. Brett, it's all about teaching the bare essentials of racing.
Yeah, I'll say these, the micros and minis. So 2 weeks ago, we had the U.S. Grand National Championships at Trackhouse Motorplex, and both of these classes, the micros and the minis, put on a heck of a show. So yes, they are learning, but they're learning very quickly sometimes. You can see them on the track right now already making passes in these wet conditions, trying to get those fast laps. So don't tune out just because, you know, these are the smaller classes, younger kids, because they can have a tendency to put on sometimes some of the best shows of the weekend. As we see, I think one driver around, not surprising with given these conditions. We'll try and get a number on that momentarily. That looks to be, can't get the number on it right now, but like I mentioned, these conditions, not easy for most professional drivers, and a lot of learning by these kids today.
And again, shorter wheelbase for these chassis means that it is very easy to get these into a slide, and you've got so much less time to connect. We saw it in warm-ups as well. In these conditions, they can swap ends very easily. But with how much lighter they are, how much smaller their aerodynamic profile is, it is so much easier to get a run. Oh, and another spinner there. Going to be the 220. That might have been in the 288, actually. No, Sam Robinson there in the Boss Racing machine, making things very easy for me and Brett in the booth here. Always love the bright colors, making things easy for us to distinguish. Give a tip of the cap as well to Harrison Fletcher. Watch that 205 just coming into view. Third on track. The Red Bull Racing Tribute livery. That thing is awesome.
That scheme, they had one similar out at Trackhouse Motorplex a few weeks ago. So the Red Bull scheme's always easy to see, as we see some times on the board early on in this session. TJ Akers with the fastest at a 144, and it changed as soon as I said that. James Fox going to the top of the chart with a 143, but just like the first session that we saw, times spread out all across the field with these conditions that we are seeing here this morning.
And again, we've seen a couple spinners. I think the first, full lap at full song, you always got to tack an asterisk in it, especially at these conditions, right? Because everyone's still trying to get up to full speed. Everyone's trying to feel things out. When you only have, I think in this case, 5 or 7 minutes, you've got to find pace very quickly. And in this case, in this package, you got to find a dance partner very quickly as well. And the two boss guys and Harrison really good job of finding that right now. On track right now, James Fox does not need that, though. I want to say that's a Tillotson chassis. Fernando Alonso helmet in the 212. It is a Tillotson. I'm not sure how much of a cardinal sin that is with the Tillotson chassis and a Briggs motor. Regardless, the kid's making it work right now. 143.25 puts him a second in change up from the field. And again, crucially, not needing any help from, any slipstream in front. You just see Harrison Fletcher and Jude Boss right in front of him there. That 233 highlighter orange machine. But with 1 minute on the clock, this kid on track right now is the one to beat.
Yeah, James Fox literally and figuratively in a league of his own. He was on track, in open space, not a lot of karts around him, and he does have a healthy, I think over 3 seconds between him and second place. So definitely found something this morning. He might be one of those drivers I was talking about that you either love or hate the rain. He might have a lot of experience with the rain. He must love the rain, obviously, now with what he's seen on the speed chart this morning.
I guess an opportunity to play with traffic right now. Working through the 221 of Wyatt Burlesman, that Kart Republic machine. Inside line really able to get the power down and get a good run as we get over the hill. Look at that. Able to make mincemeat of Jude Boss right now. And you look at the amount of people there. You get a lot of factors here of what makes some people this good in these conditions. And I think for James Fox, it is this perfect storm of you've ran a lot in the rain. A lot of the guys who are regional to Indy, who are regional to this area, who are club members, I think we're already 3 or 4 club races in here for any members at NCMP. Obviously, Route 66 being here a handful of times. Open test, and then their round a couple weeks ago. Fox nearly goes into the grass there. But a lot of guys have had a lot of track time to get us started right now. And Jude Fox, 2.8 seconds clear. Making the most of every advantage. Tokyo drifting out of the final corner and improves at that. 140.970. James Fox, a huge shot across the bow for the remainder of this 206 micro field. But Remy Boss, TJ Akers able to find a little bit more as well. 143.907 for Tej. Remy Boss up to a 288. And Clyde Kelman getting in there as well. What a show from James Fox, though, showing us that he is absolutely one to catch here in 206 micro.
Yeah, I know it's just qualifying, but just watching him navigate around the course, that was exciting to watch. I mean, that final corner, he was giving it his all as if he was coming to the checkered flag to win a race, but that's just qualifying. So, but I'm interested to see if they make any changes. I mean, imagine being a crew member today because, you went out in this session and it's wet, but you don't know what your heat session's going to be like later this afternoon. So, like I mentioned, just a lot of curveballs with this springtime weather this morning, but that was fun to watch. James Fox, the 212.
A lot of things for the guys back at these tents post-session to think about. But crucially, we look back on track here where in just a couple moments, over 40 206 senior drivers take to the track, a sold-out show. And the lid lifter for Apex Midwest, we'll introduce you to him when we come back here from Indy. here we go. I think 39 actually the final number here, but 206 senior taken to the track. And not only did we get to a sellout, we got actually fairly quickly here in the weeks building up to the point where folks at Apex were actually considering doubling it, bringing the grid size up to, I believe, 70. But I think Apex making the smarter decision there and electing to keep it at 40 for the cap. And you look at the weather right now, you look at the other factors, we've been already a little bit off schedule with weather, a couple medical delays. I think keeping it at 40 for round number 1 at a track that naturally has brought so much chaos, whether it's in this kind of regional racing, we've seen it at CK&A Grands, we've seen it at Stars King of the Castle. I think 40 already here, Brett, is going to be more than enough for on-track action.
Yeah, I mean, but what a good problem to have if you're the series officials at Apex. I mean, to have so many people want to sign up and come out here and race just shows the health of the series, health of karting in the Midwest. That's why we have this region round 1 here today. But I was watching them come out of the pits out of the track, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, that's a lot of traffic to navigate if you want to get a fast lap. So good thing they captured at 40, so it makes it a little bit easier, as you mentioned. But clearly this is the most traffic that we've seen already here this morning, so it'll be interesting to see who is able to navigate the traffic, find their partners, see who comes out on top here.
I really hope we do have you out here with us when we do CK&A Grants, because we can get sometimes mid-60s, high 70s in kart count out on track for practice and qualifying. And again, these guys are more than thankful that is not the case, because they can absolutely focus on finding a dance partner, finding someone to work with, and putting their head down and building time. The reigning champion Henry Wheeler not with us. He's got a pretty damn good reason at that. Committed to a full season of the Porsche Carrera Cup out in Germany. Actually got a handful of victories, first and second in his opening session. A long tenured driver with Seal Motorsports, getting a great opportunity to make the jump up to the big cars and go out the gate swinging. But all that means is we've got a lot of fast drivers here getting an opportunity to put their name on the board. For the first time this season, Sam Tutwiler immediately comes to mind. First guy out in the 990. Levi Getz, Jerry Fandry for TV Kart USA. Ryan Sakina, Chris McKeithen, who we've seen pretty much in every discipline at this point, both in 2- and 4-stroke racing. Adam Kay, Jack Sutton, Agasa Yoshikawa, who we're seeing right now in the Sodi. Very good mix of drivers coming from a lot of different regions, a lot of different backgrounds of racing. Trying to strike first. First green flag laps coming in. Sam Tutwiler set the pace early here, 136.702. And it's the Cincy native Addison Ianello giving chase right now, the 946, a second and change off pace.
Yeah, we saw when they went down that front straightaway, the flags, it's a tailwind when they go down the front straightaway to the start-finish line, so that's obviously helpful when they're going down the front straightaway to get that, to click away that lap at the start-finish line. But as they navigate the infield section, I guess you would call it the backstretch, that's a headwind. So I'm curious to see how that impacts the drivers throughout the day. I know checking the weather, they said gusts as high as 26 miles per hour today, so you can tell by the flags, not a beautiful day there, but look at those flags. They are like straight out. So I keep mentioning, but a lot of different conditions they have to contend with today. But at least on the front stretch, you may feel like Superman coming to the line because you have that tailwind pushing you down to the line.
919, Christopher McKeithen for Coyote Racing. You can see a good example there of the Euro lean, trying to move the body to those outside tires, trying to get as much grip when that is a premium out on track right now. That is the 909 or 990. Do not test my eyes when it is 6:47 my time. I want to say that's Sakina coming across the line. But again, when we talk about how important it is to find someone to work with in the draft, as this track already is starting to dry. Got a lot of guys out in lonesome right now. getting left to hang. But second lap, green flag, quali runs underway. Addison Iannello now the fastest, 136.406. That's just a tenth and change, up from Sam Tutwiler.
Yeah, I was about to say, this session, at least the top 3, top 4, times are a lot more condensed, well under a second within each other. So the times keep coming in, but first, second, and third are only split up between 0.3 of a second. So definitely a stiff competition here with, as many drivers as we see. And as you mentioned, more cars on track, faster a dry line will form. So I only expect times get quicker as we have about 45 seconds left in the session.
A little bit of an excursion there. Jack Sutton, the blue cart with the gray helmet, just going in the grass there, coming up and over the hill. As a lot of these guys already pushing these limits. You've seen it in the dirt world, Brett, the importance of single car qualifying. These guys not having that luxury, but the crucialness of being fast, getting close to the sharp end of the field is very much the same. As you look at this style of racing, if you're out in front, you can battle for the lead, but if you got pace and you're further back in the field, you need to make moves as quick as possible, because it is more than possible for you to get swamped in the mid-pack.
Yeah, if you don't qualify well today, you want to make sure in your heat, like you mentioned, get all those passes done at the start, maybe first couple laps, because we know sometimes there's a tendency they can get strung out, especially with the weather today. We'll see what happens, but I'm impressed with this class. With all the classes, we haven't seen a lot of drivers go off or spin. I'm a little worried watching the warm-up, but it looks like they definitely got the carts under them now, especially with, I think we said there's about 40 out right now, so I was fully expecting to see maybe a little bit more issues for some of these drivers, but they're handling it pretty well.
33 our number for guys out on track. How fitting is that right now with what's going on about 90 minutes out from here in a certain different field of 33, hopefully set to be set today. Sam Tutwiler back to the top here in the run to the checkered flag. Look at this 5-cart centipede working into the cell tower as all of these guys trying to maximize as much as possible, but that's going to be a sever of the head as the coyote of, I believe, Tutwiler going through, and this is going to kill a lot of potential purple laps coming out of the final few corners. You saw some of them bail out early, go to the pit lane, but crucially, your top 3 right now provisionally still having the opportunity to set one more lap. Adam K, Jack Sutton in that mix as well. These guys are battling still for a provisional pole position into the penultimate corner. Sutton going to be the first one to get to the line. Keeps it smooth and steady out of the final corner. Any changes out in front? No, they got way too racy there in that final lap. Addison Iannello throwing the kitchen sink in that qualifying session, but it's King Tut, Sam Tutwiler, by 0.04 of a second on pole for the first of 2 heats today. Chris McKeith and Henry Wheeler, some big names a little bit further back. Mason Surgener, Adam K, Jack Sutton, Holden Hardner, Alex Sikulsko, Levi Getz, rounding out your top 10. I did not see Henry Wheeler on the entry list. Good to see him out here. P4, Porsche Carrera Cup driver, going to try and work from outside of row number 2. Action continuing here from Indy. Briggs Mini coming up for round 1 at Apex. Happy to have you with us here in round number 1 of the Apex Midwest Championship, as we already had one kart exit stage left there. Further back, we'll try and get a number plate for you. 206 minis out on track here for qualifying to try and set the stage. Again, 2 heat races on deck for both our Briggs and IMEK A100 groups today. Pre-final and final on deck tomorrow morning. Weather, with how wheel-to-wheel dependent some of these classes are, is all about qualifying, because you might not have the opportunity to move forward come the heats.
I was going to say, if you're going to spin, do it in the first corner on the warm-up before you come to your first lap, so that you can get regrouped and still get a time in. But yeah, that was probably a little bit too overzealous on coming out of the pits there. Obviously, you know, they haven't been on the track since their warm-up session about, I would say, maybe 30 minutes ago. So track conditions maybe have changed, but again, just great job to all these drivers able to navigate this course and slide it into the corner, as you see right there, as they're still coming on their warm-ups, or they haven't even put in a time yet. So we'll see what happens as they come down the straightaway here.
The combination of the weight, the wheelbase, specifically with the drivers themselves, and how much the gear weighs relative to how small these kids are, there's a lot of weight that can be thrown around in the kart, which means you can be very smooth if you want, but we've seen it a lot in TSRS when the skies open up. A lot of these kids like to go oppo and really slide these karts big time. Evan Leish going to be the first one to get there as we are underway with our green flag lap suit. 1D going off Ruben Greer, one of the new gen Motorsports machines, as he might need some help out there. Get a push to get back out on track. Track 181, that's Bo Laser trying to go around the outside. Logan Pollock there in the orange and white Kart Republic machine. We'll let him mosey on by. And this is a part of that kind of non-verbal agreement on track, right? You know that the kid around you might be faster. Do you let him by for a handful of reasons? One, he's punching the hole in the air for you, but two, he's fast on track. That's a line you can learn from, right? So a lot of good opportunities, actually. But now already you see that potential transit, right? Like Pollock looking really, really good in certain parts of the racetrack. These guys need to figure out on the fly who's the fastest in the group, who's the right one to lead at the right time.
Like I said, these are, this was one of the most exciting classes that we saw at Trackhouse Motorplex a few weeks ago. But I just gotta say that number 100 of Joseph, he that scheme on that car is beautiful. That's we as announcers appreciate how nice it is, and easy to see. He's the third kart back there, or I think we switched here. But he is currently now slotted in 4th quickest. But we mentioned before, drivers trying to find their friends. This class definitely wants to use a little bit of drafting help, a little bit of friendly competition to help get the fastest time here. But right now, the number 107 is our quickest driver early on here in the session, but still 2.5 laps, or 2.5 minutes, excuse me, to go.
Wabach there in 150. Kart Republic, the cue ball helmet. Blue suit wanted to get in front maybe of the Lawson Speed Shops machine, the 110. That is Hayden Lawson there in the Zamp helmet. Tried getting an exit there, coming out of scoreboard, not able to get there. Continue to study that Lawson Speed Shop factory machine right in front of him. Lawson being one of the most popular engine builders for the Briggs platform. It feels like pretty much half of the field, maybe this weekend, is on a Lawson. You look at what makes this platform so special. Yes, it's simple, but there's so much little things you can do in terms of customizing this 4-stroke category. That's one of the reasons why it's so weird to say now. For 10 years, this Briggs & Stratton 206 has become pretty much the platform grassroots racing here in America, and you've seen a handful of really good engine builders able to find the most. Lawson being a great example of that. Group a little bit further back, Major Laser Bo in the 181. Still working further back, Joseph Panico. Leave Ryan Hall there in the 109.
Yeah, those drivers are, I think, 5th, 6th, and 7th right now. So they want to look to find a little bit more speed as the minute ticks down on this session. As we're looking at the 147 now, I'm trying to see where they are on the chart. Or I'm sorry, I think that's the 107. So he's our quickest driver by over a second and a half. Wow. So obviously found something in that kart or the track conditioning. One of those drivers, as I keep mentioning, perhaps enjoys racing in these wet conditions as he slings it around the corner there. You saw him go a little bit sideways. But it's interesting. It's just so fun to watch it in these conditions. I know it's not fun out there as a fan, as a cameraman, but it's fun to watch, you know, these drivers sling these karts around in these treacherous conditions.
Obligatory tip of the cap to Gabe Romo, Case and Fry. Bearing the weather right now to give us these shots. But Evan Leash giving us a heck of a show here, wheeling 137.497 quickest. Bo Laser improves up into P2. He's still a second and a half clear from getting to the lead. How about this? Hayden Lawson now up into P2, brings that gap down to 1.4. That'll be a checkered flag run. Evan Leash gonna try and add on even more. That MPG, My Parents Garage, Kart Republic. I'm curious if that's actually factory effort, and I'm hoping I can get some correction on this. So I know Chase Jones and company have moved full-time now to the Carolinas. They still have their roots very firmly planted here in Indiana. Obviously, a lot of regional stuff here, a lot of stuff at K1 Circuit in Whiteland. It has been a very busy season already for that group. Helping out Joe Turney, helping out Kart Republic. And crucially, helping their young guns. Evan Leash firmly on pole right now, 107. With Hayden Lawson, Chase Call, Bo Laser, and Caden Taruno rounding out your top 5. 2 heats coming up later on. And crucially, one more qualifying session when we come back with Briggs Jr. on deck.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Wins the Wisconsin Grand Prix! James Overbeck on start number 2 gets win number 1 in OKN Stars!
On track or off, Brandon Jarsekrak Racing delivers elite performance. Led by 4-time Pro National Champion Brandon Jarsekrak, our team masters driver coaching, data-driven analysis, and mechanical precision at every national event. Contact us today at BrandonJarsekrakRacing.com.
Karting isn't just speed. It's control, precision, freedom. At Atlanta Motorsports Park, Kart Freedom isn't just a team. It's where drivers are made.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel?
From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
When it comes to innovation on the track, Odenthal Racing Products leads the pack. From the highly popular EasyGP camera mounts to our tough case to GoPro case, racers everywhere trust ORP for strength, reliability, and precision. We're proud to be the #1 engine mount manufacturer in the USA. And with our new Easy Bumper Retainer System, you won't get caught out with a failed bumper bolt again. Odenthal Racing Products. Lead or get left behind.
Would like to remind you that after this, we jump behind the paywall as heat racing in the afternoon, exclusive to Kart Chaser Premium, and for just $9.99 a month, get access not just to the Apex Racing Championship, but also the Stars Championship Series, SCUSA Pro Tour, United States Pro Karting Championship. If there is a major karting event going on in America, it's happening right here on Kart Chaser. Make sure you do that. By the way, always got to remind people on your browser, for whatever reason, doing it through Apple likes to do an extra surcharge. Stick around, should be a really good show here. If the weather holds out, I know it's not fun for the guys on track, but right at the crossover point, it should be a pretty good show here as we get to 2 rounds of heat racing, wrap up the morning. We will be back for warm-ups and qualifying later on. That'll be around 1:30 p.m. local. Get started with KA100. Qualifying go for about an hour. Again, Jackson Lambros, Brett Baldick with you in the booth here. Happy to be with you in the lid lifter for round number 1 of the Midwest. Ooh, big off further back there. And we've talked about how important it is to get a draft here, Brett. I think some guys are wanting to get in that prime position a little too quick and more drama. Oh my goodness. 3 card stack up in qualifying.
And you see they're trying, it's so wet that they can't just drive out of the grass. They got to get out of their cart or get a push from someone else. But that was a wild set of corners there. We saw one driver go off, kind of hit the barrier, get back on track, but then you saw all 3 of those drivers get together, and that could spell disaster for their qualifying run unless they're able to get it back out and get some clean laps in, but not the way you want to start this session.
I think they will, but I think what you got to be more concerned now with is the bodywork properly mounted on the front? Could there be a penalty with some contact a little bit further to the front as well? I want to say that was for sure Henrik McKay. I think Carson Benjamin, maybe Isaiah Maxey getting involved there. For sure, at least 4 cars got a piece of it there. Coming into, I think it was turn 14. But here we go, we're up and away. And Evan Frey on the bumper of that Brellard Cooper Mole, as these two were really fun to watch. Tail end of the Southeast Championship, especially with Frey. I think a handful of photo finishes in the heats and the main events at Atlanta Motorsports Park. That Coyote driver looking very strong, trying to hit the ground running here in the Midwest.
So it looks like things have calmed down after the first couple minutes of the session. Everyone's able to finally click some. Oh, and as soon as I said that, we see a driver go off. Announcers changed.
The triple eight of Henry Maxwell. I think that was one of the Steel Motorsports.
You are correct. That is the 888. And as I mentioned, he looks like he is beached because of the wet conditions here, so needs some assistance getting back onto the racetrack, as the 887 of William Richard, currently our quickest driver here by just a fraction of 0.08 over our second place of Rylan Gordon. So times for first and second very close here in this session. As you get a look at the rest of our drivers on track, we're currently looking at the 831 of Evan Fry. He is leading a pack of about, I would say, 2 other drivers. Evan currently in the 9th fastest position. Obviously wants to find a little bit more, as we have about 2 minutes left in this session. Again, it looks like drivers are beginning to figure out this racetrack. It must be difficult going out as a last session, because I don't know if it's still actively raining at the track or not, but if you go out in the last section, the track definitely changed a lot compared to when you were out with your warm-up.
90 minutes to go here in qualifying, 90 seconds, excuse me. And it is Ryder Thompson quickest right now, 137.316. This is the closer one we've seen. Rylan Gordon in the 822 LN trying to close that gap. William Richard, Joseph Yvette in chase. And just like we saw in the seniors, a lot of new guys we haven't necessarily seen in making the move over to the Midwest. Good example right here with the 864. Ryder Thompson walking the high line there, trying to get as much of an insurance as possible. Got a handful of guys who are within half a second further back. But you look at the track conditions right now, I'm not sure our cameras are necessarily doing it, but it's looking like it's maybe drying off at least a little bit on track. I think we're for sure seeing a couple guys on slicks for the most part. As, boy, look at this, Thompson trying to find a way around. 842, I believe, Tyler Nash Turner. And when you've got someone to work with, when you have a car in front of you, yeah, it's good because you have the draft, but if they just don't have the straight line, you got to do moves like that. And fortunately, coming out of Cell Tower, like Thompson had just enough time to make that move, nearly dropped a tire in the grass there. Just like Brett mentioned earlier, that could be bad news bears with how slippery it is right now, keeping it as open as possible. And we'll just barely get one more lap. That is Tegan Schneider, I believe, that unidentified transponder in P6, the 809 improving to P6, reigning 206 junior champion. Will not get an opportunity to run another lap here as the checker flag comes out. Laney Thigpen will conclude in P8 as well. Let's see here. Ryder Thompson still quickest. A little bit of improvement from Rylan Gordon that last time around, 138.419. But still not enough to close that gap. Crucially right now, does anyone have anything for Ryder Thompson?
And you mentioned the track is drying out, because I know the first qualifying session there was a lot more water being sprayed up by the carts, but we are being told by checking the radar that more rain is on the way. So I think that's going to be the story of the day, is checking the radar this morning. It's scattered across the state of Indiana. Obviously, not good for the big track down the road, but we can still race here, obviously, here for this karting track. So maybe we get some new fans to tune in that are in the Indianapolis area or Indiana area that are here for the big race, can come out watch some karting with no matter what the weather throws at us. I think the only time we are delayed is for lightning, which we hope stays away today, but you can see these drivers wrapping up their sessions right now.
David Land, Kyle Cuthbertson, I know you're at the Speedway. Worst case scenario, you've got backup, we've got you covered. Checkered flag out, 206 junior qualifying, and Ryder Thompson gets out in front early, sets the tone. Nobody able to close that gap. Rylan Gordon alongside him in the front row, Joseph Yvette, William Richard, Daniel Dragunov, and Callan Myers. Your front 3 rows for our 2 rounds of heat racing coming up. We take a quick breather here, and then we get set for 2 rounds of heat racing, but it's time to go behind the paywall. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you stay with us as we get set to go wheel to wheel for the first time in the Midwest. For your hardworking KC crew and Apex Racing crew, he's Brett Baltic. I'm Jackson Lambros, hoping to see you on the other side when we go wheel to wheel racing for the first time here at Apex.
This broadcast is the sole property of Kart Chaser Group, LLC. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the images, audio, or accounts of this event, in whole or in part, without the express written consent of Kart Chaser Group, LLC is strictly prohibited. Thanks for watching.